Good Friday afternoon, everybody. Ken Jackson along with Dan Pearson from the Osceola News-Gazette, and welcome to the second edition of First and 10 with Dan and Ken, where we break down the weekend's high school football action. And Dan, we're chilling out here on the lakefront at St. Cloud, kind of chilling out before it gets real busy. I hope we're busy on Friday night.
Well, I really do too, Ken. It seems like the first week and a half, all we talked about was COVID, so maybe fun to start talking about some football.
We've been talking about that for 18 months now. It's enough. As you know from last week, we only had two teams play last week. Liberty fell to Haines City. Touhou fell to Lake Mineola in a game they were probably, I don't know how they got on the schedule. They're probably mismatched there. But we've got a full slate again this week. What we want to start with is a little bit of breaking news. St. Cloud will play on Friday. It was kind of up in the air. Liberty, they're back into contact tracing, so they're not going to be able to play. Found out yesterday that St. Cloud is going to host Akeland's Angels Christian out of Winter Haven. They played them last year. They beat them 42-0. But, so let's face it, St. Cloud, they haven't been on the field since the Kickoff Classic, which will be 2 weeks ago today. They got to get on the field and play.
They do, and fortunately they were able to find an opponent. It may not have been the best opponent for them, but by the same token, too, there's nothing wrong with getting kind of a game in and hopefully get a victory on it.
Right. I mean, the good news for them was last time they were on the field, they put up 30 points on Celebration, the Kickoff Classic. Bad news is they gave up 46. The week off, which was supposed to be the Osceola game week, which they got pushed back a month, that gave them a chance to kind of maybe answer some of the questions, replace question marks with periods or hopefully exclamation points.
Well, really, the only way you're ever going to get better is to play games. And from that standpoint, I'm sure Brian Smart, the head coach of St. Cloud, was really smart enough to realize what he had going on this year, and he knows he needs to get on the field and get a game under his belt.
Gotcha. Hey, they do have some exciting playmakers over at St. Cloud, so catch that one's going to be at 7:30. Everything else we talk about is going to be 7 o'clock. That leads us right into probably the big game of the week. Osceola, the one team that's going out of town to play, but they're heading over to play Cocoa, which is another name brand team, a lot like Osceola.
It is definitely a name brand team, and last week Cocoa beat Vero Beach, and they became just the third team in the last 3 years to beat Vero Beach in the regular season. So that's really saying something. And keep in mind, Vero Beach not only beat Osceola last year, they handled them pretty easily over there. So it's going to be a great challenge for Eric Pinellas, especially for the first game out of the box.
Right. I know he said that them not playing last week might have been a little bit of a blessing. He had some offensive linemen banged up a little bit, some other guys banged up in the Kickoff Classic against Lake Nona, but they should be full speed and good to go.
Really, the key to this game is Cocoa does have a running back who's a legitimate Division I prospect named O.J. Ross. He rushed for over 100 yards and 4 touchdowns against Vero.
4 touchdowns.
So, and
I'd say you take him away, yeah.
So that's going to be a key, is to stop him. He also did mention, though, that they are pretty stout defensively. They, like Osceola, they have 2 defensive tackles that are D1 prospects. So I think it's going to be a great challenge. And for the first game out of the box, the hostility of playing on the road, it's going to be a challenge for them. But if they get by that, then it could be a great season for them.
That's a really good point. They knock off Cocoa. The rest of the year, there isn't a whole lot that they will not have seen.
No, really, if you look at their schedule moving forward, they do have West Orange that is actually ranked in front of them in their own district. They were ranked in front of them in the first state rankings of the year, so it's not going to be an easy schedule for Eric, but again, Osceola has never ducked opponents, so we're good.
No. Now we'll talk about the games that we're going to be at. You're going to be heading down to Poinciana, their first home game in over a year, and they're going to welcome Celebration to town.
It is, and again, that's going to be the first regular season game for both of those teams that were affected by COVID in week 1. But
well, Poinciana was off. They had scheduled their bye week so they could kind of make sure the program, they had everything I's dotted, T's crossed.
That is true, and again, I find this game really fascinating from the standpoint that both Poinciana's Randy Bacon and Celebration's Rich Pringle are both excited about what they have this year, and so it's going to be fun to see what happens in the first regular season game for both teams.
I did see Celebration's Kickoff Classic. There was a win over St. Cloud. They're their quarterback, Dylan Davis, is his first time playing quarterback, was really efficient, throwing the ball, running the ball, took care of the ball. I mean, there was one turnover, but, look, you hung, well, one of them was a defensive score, so let's say you hung 37, 39 points on a pretty decent team.
They did, and again, Celebration historically has not been a very good team, and yet they seem to be really excited with what Coach Pringle is bringing to the program, and maybe really building something special there.
He is an excitable coach, that is for sure. And the game I'm going to be at, it's Touhou, Kaligo, go down the road to play Gateway. Reason this is noteworthy is that pretty much Touhou cut into Gateway to open it for their student zone. This is the first time these two teams are playing in the regular season, and oddly enough, Gateway, this is the first time they're going to be on a field looking at somebody wearing a different color.
Yeah, they really had a rough time. They lost their preseason game to the COVID tracing, and then lost their season opener for the same reason. So I know Marlon Roberts is really excited about getting onto the field and really seeing what he has.
Right.
And with the way Touhou, again, the trials and tribulations they had during the off season with losing their spring game and only having 18 people out for spring, and then trying to build their numbers up,
right.
And then unfortunately just running into a buzzsaw in their first game.
Yeah.
But you still have to, whenever you see a game like that, you have to start questioning, is this going to be a total rebuild year for that program? And it might be. So this is going to be an intriguing game to watch to see who comes out on top.
Right. I know Touhou's starting quarterback, Wilson, the senior, he went down in the Lake Mineola game, didn't come back in. Cam Davis-Roberts took over quarterback, and you could see that it was a little shaky. But there's a big difference in going from Lake Mineola to Gateway. So maybe we'll see a little more offense, a little more success for them tonight. Harmony hosting Heritage. Harmony, another team, they got caught up in contact tracing. Well, they're coming off a nice game. They had a nice win over Freedom in their kickoff classic. They seem like they're gonna have it kind of rolling. They got Heritage tonight at Palm Bay. That's a pretty good test.
It's a good test, but at the same token, I think that they have the manpower in the running game to control that clock, and that's what head coach Don Simon said. He goes, you never know what's going to happen, but if we're able to move the ball on offense with a running game, control the clock, limit their opportunities, there's no reason why we can't win this game. So I know he's excited to get on the field.
Gotcha. Well, we hope everybody gets on the field. That's 5 games we've got run down. We've got 4 of them at home, so if you want to get out to a game, you've got choices. Like I said, hopefully between now and game time we don't have any more problems. Everybody gets on the field. This is like we said in the paper this week. When is week 2 like week 1? Well, thank you COVID. So that's the latest from us here. Like I said, we're at the St. Cloud Lakefront. Dan will be at Point Santa. I'll be at Gateway. Also a game at Harmony and at St. Cloud. And we're going to see those teams here pretty soon. I know Osceola won't be at home. It dawned on me until they meet St. Cloud on September 27th.
No, and hopefully this thing is going to start returning a little bit more to normal. I know they wanted it to be normal from week 1. That hasn't happened. But certain things have already happened, including Harmony was able to reschedule. We didn't mention this, but Harmony was able to reschedule their opening game with Mount Dora. It's going to be played on September 15th. It just so happened,
which is a Wednesday.
Their bye weeks lined up, so that game is going to take place. And again, St. Cloud was able to find a substitute opponent for this week, and we'll see what happens.
Right. I know Celebration Gateway from last week, that's been canceled, so that's not going to get made up. So there we go. There is your high school football rundown for Friday. Like I say, get out, catch a game. Should have some decent weather. I'm not a weatherman, but I am on camera, so I guess I'm playing one on TV. So thanks for tuning in. For Dan Pearson, I'm Ken Jackson. This has been First and 10 with Dan and Ken. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.